They say Kentucky is full of old spirits, but I never believed it until last month. I live alone in a pretty isolated house, deep in the rolling hills. It's quiet, peaceful, or at least it used to be. The trouble started with the guest room. I don't get many visitors, so that door usually stays shut. But one Tuesday night, as I was getting ready for bed, I noticed a sliver of light from under the door. I thought, that's weird. I must have left it on by mistake. So I went in, flipped the switch, and thought nothing of it. The next night, Wednesday, same thing, a soft glow from the guest room. This time, I knew for a fact I had turned it off. I hesitated for a moment, my heart doing a little flutter kick. It's just faulty wiring, I told myself. A short and a switch. I walked in to turn it off, but I stopped dead in my tracks. The bed, which I always keep perfectly made, was unmade. The duvet was pulled back, just as if someone had climbed in and then out again. I grabbed the heaviest thing I could find, a cast iron skillet, and searched the entire house. Closets, under beds, behind the shower curtain. Nothing. Every window was locked. Every door was bolted from the inside. It made no sense. I remade the bed, my hands shaking slightly, and triple-checked the locks before finally getting into my own bed. Sleep didn't come easy that night. Thursday night was when things went from strange to terrifying. Again, the light was on. I'd spent the whole day feeling on edge, jumping at every creak of the old house. I slowly pushed the guest room door open, my phone in my hand, ready to call 911. The bed was messed up again, the sheets rumpled. But this time, something new was there. On the pillow, clear as day, was an impression. They checked every door, every window, the attic, the cellar. They found no signs of a break-in, no forced entry, no footprints outside, nothing. They told me to keep my doors locked and call them if anything else happened, but I could see it in their eyes. They thought I was a lonely person with an overactive imagination. They left, and the silence that followed was deafening. I felt completely alone and utterly terrified. I didn't want to go back inside, but where else could I go? Finally, I mustered the courage to go back in, locking the door behind me and dragging a chair in front of it. I decided I wasn't going to sleep. I was going to stay up all night in the living room, watching that guest room door. I sat there for hours, the silence of the house pressing in on me. The clock ticked past midnight, then 1, then 2 in the morning. Nothing happened. The light stayed off. Maybe the police presence had scared them off. Maybe it was all in my head after all. The words were perfectly clear, and they chilled me to the bone. It said, "Thank you for leaving it ready for me." I didn't scream. I couldn't. I was frozen, paralyzed by a fear so absolute it felt like ice in my veins. My mind was racing, trying to process what I'd just heard. A voice from an empty room. A room the police had declared empty. Who was he thanking me for making the bed, for leaving the light on? The thought was so absurd, so horrifying. I felt a wave of nausea. I didn't move a muscle until the sun came up. The first rays of dawn spilling through the windows were the only thing that broke the spell. I grabbed my purse, my keys, and I left. I didn't pack a bag. I just drove. I stayed with my sister for a week, trying to explain what happened, but it sounded insane even to my own ears. Eventually, I had to go back. It's my home. I couldn't just abandon it. I called a priest to bless the house, had an electrician rewire the entire room, and even brought in a paranormal investigation team. The priest said he felt a presence. The electrician found nothing wrong. The paranormal team recorded some strange audio fluctuations, EVPs they called them, but nothing as clear as what I heard. For a while, things were quiet. The light stayed off. The bed stayed made. I started to think, maybe, just maybe, it was over. I even started sleeping through the night again. But last night, as I was walking down the hall, I glanced at the guest room door, and under it I saw a faint, familiar glow. My blood ran cold. I haven't opened the door. I can't. I've barricaded it with a bookshelf. I don't know what to do. It seems my guest isn't finished with his stay. I live in a house in Kentucky, and I have a guest, and I'm terrified he's never going to leave. So, If you ever find yourself in an old house and a light turns on by itself, don't just dismiss it, don't go in, just run. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've had a similar experience, please share it in the comments below. I could really use the support. Don't forget to subscribe for more true scary stories. Stay safe out there.